Yes, another video on determinism. So you're gonna have to live with it. I didn't make an account on that VidMe site, so I was thinking I would take all these subjects where you end up making 100 videos on a single subject. Maybe I'll put them all over there in the sense of the new videos. You know, all this stuff that's going to have one-word titles like determinism 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just try to keep them static to arguments. Don't do response videos. Just see if you can glean any counter arguments that are reasonable and, you know, augment a list of arguments. So we'll see how that goes. Do not God over there. Anyway, we'll see. No videos yet, so don't go there yet. Anyway, so I did get one of these monsters. Yeah, has done it again. Lime tick. Little nymph. This is a line from a piece of notebook paper, just to give you some idea of size. They're quite small. This is actually a big nymph for nymphs, but you know, still small. Bastard. Yeah, I mean, it just sucks. So, don't know if I have Lyme yet. So I will take some penicillin just as a preventative, and then see if it's not enough, then I'll have to take more. I'll have to see. Jeez. This is going to be a bad year for me. I want it to be a good year, but it looks like it's going to be a bad year. I don't know. Anyway, so Modern Mystic on determinism. I am of no importance is what he titled it, and he's all gay and such. I don't know what that's all about, but you know, since the bypass surgery, you know, it's very good for his life, but yeah, he's sort of become a frivolous, trivial kind of person. I don't like that kind of person.
Yo, YouTube.
See, whatever that all stuff is.
Hope I can remember how to do this. Video. I've put up these trouble videos, but it seems that people are still struggling to comprehend the point I'm making.
I don't know what all this, yes, this point you're making where you're not really making a point. That's the problem. I don't think everybody else could figure out what the point was either. I'm pretty sure.
A funny little point, but it is a point.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
And I've tried to think of a way that might help explain what I'm niggling at.
Yeah, I just don't. It's not going to help. I mean, decide. You know. Well, I'll let you say it, and then I'll just say, well, what's the fucking point? It doesn't make any sense. You're using terminology that doesn't mean anything. So it's just like Piro keeps talking about this stupid will thing. What the fuck's a will? And then you're going to talk about the something me thing or the I thing. Well, what we already declared, there is no fucking such thing. There's just a bunch of programs that are on the fucking disk. I don't understand.
In a way that perhaps people can understand. Determinism and us. Let's put it into a power perspective. Determinism means that we, me, every moment of my life from birth to death, before birth, all the time, birth till death, is on a DVD. It was stamped out before I was born.
Right. Well, it wasn't stamped out, so that's sort of a misconception of your analogy. It actually wasn't stamped out before you were born. It gets stamped out as we live it, and that happens. That's when it's getting written onto the DVD as it happens. But what's going to be written is mechanically obligated. There's no way to change what the existing circumstances are. The tick exists, the tick gets on my foot, the tick bites me in the foot, I get Lyme disease. That shit has to all happen. And there's nothing that makes the ticks disappear like that. And they don't suddenly not carry the microbe. And I certainly don't suddenly not get infected. Nothing happens by magic. It has to happen because things that are already happened on the DVD will make it happen on the part that's getting written now.
Exactly what I was going to do. Every single microsecond, all through my life. Okay?
No, see, I guess I can't say okay, because I'm just saying the premise is that somehow the DVD's already written. It's not already written.
And then, that's on one side. That's the DVD.
I mean, it doesn't matter that it's not already written. Don't get me wrong. It wouldn't make any difference that the fact that it has to be written right now, or I say right now, it actually gets written on the DVD right now. It doesn't matter that it's already, could have been already written, and we're just playing the part that's already written. It doesn't make any difference. I agree. It's inevitable that I'm going to say it's inevitable that it's inevitable. It's inevitable that I'm talking about this inevitable part. Yeah, that's the tick in my head. The tick of saying the word inevitable was walking around in there, and it said, say inevitable. That happened. No doubt about it. No argument about it.
On the other side is what we're calling me.
I'm not doing that. I'm not saying determinism versus me. Who's doing that? Why would I do that? That's not my argument. So why are you calling me in? Why are you saying I'm in trouble? I'm not saying there's any me power. There's no willpower. There's no free. And there's no me power. There's idea power. There's I've been programmed. Something kicked me in the ass 30 years ago, and I'm still moving because I got kicked in the ass 30 years ago by an idea. An idea kicked me in the ass, and I'm still vibrating from it.
Now, in this video, I'm asking you to weigh the power ratio between the DVD that controls every single microsecond of my life.
It controls you. So what's the point of even talking about some other thing called a me that's somehow in competition with the DVD? Me is on the DVD. Every idea I have came from somewhere. The words came from somewhere. I was exposed to the words, the meanings of the words. I combined the words. I saw rich people being stupid cunts. I see them wasting money. I draw simple conclusions. Oh, rich people are totally unnecessary. Throw them off the boat and you'll never miss them. Yeah, I can draw all kinds of lots of logical conclusions. But it's based on information. It's based on something kicking me in the ass.
And me. Did you get it?
No, I don't get it. What's me got to do with whether or not the fact is that as we're watching the DVD get written right before our eyes, that we can see that there's stuff on the DVD, like there's a tick on my foot. Right? It's inevitable that I will logically recognize that's not a good thing and do something about it. But it's not on the DVD until I actually do it's logical that you do something about it. I actually have to do something about it, or the tick bites me and I get Lyme disease, for fuck's sake. It's inevitable that you have to be smart, that you have to have smart conversations, that you have to kick each other in the ass. These are all parts of what a good future requires. How is that not true? We're seeing it happen. We can see bad DVD being created. We can see bad writing being put on the disc. Ominous clouds, scary noises, ugly Trumpy faces. We can see the shit happening. And we can react now, inevitably and logically, and say, hey, that's broken, we should fix it. There's too many deer, they spread ticks, let's fix that so we don't get diseases. Apply logic. How is this not possible in determinism?
This is like 100% power. And me is 0% power.
And it doesn't mean anything. Obviously, you isn't 0% power. You can lift up a glass and throw it on top of your head. You can do lots of fucking things. There's lots of power, but the power is in the processing of the DVD, the processing of the inevitable calculations that are logical, and the requirement to once in a while point out when somebody's doing something illogical. So, you're in the car is heading for a brick wall because the guy driving is totally distracted looking at butterflies and such. You know, I'm going camping today, la 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 la. And he's totally distracted, and I point out, hey, you're heading for a brick wall. Then he logically does the required thing and say, shit, that's not camping. I don't want to go to brick wall. And he turns the fucking wheel. How is this trouble? How have I entered Troubleville?
Did you get it?
No.
It's the DVD, the determinism-made DVD, that is 100% important. And
Control. Yes, the pre-existing circumstances are 100% in control, and one of the pre-existing circumstances is we're not dumbasses. And sometimes, yes, we might have something wrong, and we need somebody to tell us we're wrong. Somebody has to point out, you're being an asshole, Adolf. Knock that shit off.
Which is 0% important.
And again, important in what respect? Again, what does this have to do with, you were talking about power, now you're talking about important, like a power means the same thing as important? No. What's important is that the fact is I could motivate you. There are words, there are ways it could happen. You know, if I said to you, you know, there's a big gold deal going on this weekend, really big gold deal, and you know, there's going to be a window of 1 hour where we're all going to be able to capitalize, make a huge profit, and blah blah blah. I might talk you out of going camping because there's this big gold deal. Now, what I can't apparently do is motivate you to think you have some obligation to the future to maybe enlighten them that everybody's acting like an asshole and that maybe you need to drive that home. You can't just say it once and then walk away and say, I've done my job. So maybe I could guilt you into it, or I could give you some kind of inspiring notions in your head that maybe you should be doing more than just gluttonizing and glibalizing and pretending it all doesn't goddamn matter, and if we kill a few million more people it doesn't matter, or if a few more babies die or a few more babies get pointlessly born it all doesn't matter, and you can just sit back and say it's all okay because I didn't create the mess. Bullshit. And the truth is maybe if I said it the right way, if I put it in a nice enough fucking cookie with enough whatever English cheese on it, maybe you'd eat it. But obviously you won't eat it if I just say directly to you, you're being an asshole with this glib, stupid fucking attitude, you dumbass. You selfish jerk.
Because it's all on the DVD. You dig? Going around on the DVD.
Yeah, well again, pointless analogy in the sense that the DVD isn't written yet.
I'm going camping over the next few days. I'll take my camera with me, and if you can come up with any sensible comments, I'll try.
Like this was a sensible video. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess, maybe, possibly. No, I don't think so. The only sensible comment is, why are you creating a false dichotomy between the DVD and the me, when we know the me is created by the same exact mechanism that's created everything else on the DVD? That I'm just as programmed and controlled by pre-existing circumstances of culture and time and knowledge base and all of that bullshit as every other thing in the fucking goddamn universe. Just like the tick didn't poof into existence, I didn't poof into existence. Every thought in my fucking head didn't poof into existence. They're all fucking had to walk there on their little scurvy creepy legs. Damn it.
Try and make videos in reply. Okay? we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, maybe you ought to reply to videos made in response to your gibberish. Fuck. It's your silly innuendos. Whatever. I guess this is the version of French Hawaii. It's a French Hawaiian now. Fuck. Speaking of Hawaii, we have Piro, the stupidest fuck on earth, just about. Ecological justice. Oh, that's his newest one. Oh, how fucking interesting. Not even close. So anyway, accidentally genius. The old beardy man in Inmendham. It's not even close to anything on the subject that either one of us were talking about. So let's just play some of this. We'll see how far we get. It's just gibberish after gibberish after gibberish after gibberish. It just has nothing to do with the subject. So, because I'll probably not get to the end of the video because this will take forever, his end conclusion is that will goes all the way down to the electrons. Like there's a willitron. You know, that the universe runs on this thing called will. And I can't understand what a will is anyway. I mean, the best I can do is say it's some sort of desire, right? I can have competing desires, like I can want to be a hero, but not want to get my hands dirty. Now, those two things aren't terribly compatible, but I will both of them. Okay, in the sense that I don't want to get messed up. I don't want to be foobarred, but I do want to be a hero, because that's fun, being a hero. But I don't want to have to do it in any kind of dirty way. So what's my will in that circumstance? I mean, will is just desire, and you can say, well, it's intentional desire. My desire is clearly focused, and we say, well, that's a will desire then. But what the fuck is will otherwise than just a word used to describe when you're in desire mode? Some kind of, I have, you know, confident and you know, complete focused desire. And so he's saying basically desire goes all the way down. So we have a desire-ton. The desire-tons infect us with desire. The free desire-tons. It's just fucking babble.
Now take someone like Beardy Man, or old modern mystic, I guess it was. And take Inmendham.
It's Inmendham, but okay, Inmendham. It's Inmendham.
Please. They think they have figured out, they got an idea in their head about how the world works. So, basically, they use their will to create...
No. We didn't use no will to do it. The ideas kicked us. The ideas hit us from the external world. We experienced it. We heard about words like rational and logical, and we said, oh, those things sound like they should mean something. Yeah, let's be obedient to those. Where you think they're toilet paper.
An idea about how the world works based on their observations. And then...
So again, he's saying, I will my perception of the world, instead of the other way around, where my perceptions, my ideas, my conclusions, my principles, my ideals, my sensibilities are what define my will. He thinks it's the other way around. He thinks that somehow you will yourself into being somebody who likes classical music. Or you will yourself into... No, we don't will ourselves into these things. It's like saying you willed yourself into your sexual preference or something. No. You didn't make that happen. It happened to you.
They use that to prove they have no will and can't make observations.
Okay, so nobody said we can't make observations. That's just more lies from the liar. You just can't tell the truth ever.
According to them, they made no choices to decide to...
They made no choices to decide. See how this, you know, he can't ever use language with any kind of of, I can't make it any louder, any kind of restraint or obligation to be careful, nothing. Decisions to make choices to make decisions. I mean, this is gobbledygook.
To create their beliefs.
To create beliefs. Again, we're not made of a recipe. There's not ingredients that make you into something. Again, you don't have to practice playing golf to be a professional golfer. You just will yourself into it. It's just nonsense. You have to do the crawling bit. You have to crawl, and then you walk a little bit, and then you do that. You have to do the steps. You have to walk the first step, the second step, third step. You have to do the staircase. There's no willing yourself anywhere. It has to nudge you every step of the way. The ideas have to impact you. The guru has to do his little guru thing.
They made no choices. The history of the...
Well, again, we make decisions. If you want to call them choices, that's your prerogative. But I mean, it's a sloppy bit of language, because the argument is there isn't really choice. There's just decision. There's weighing. There's a calculation. You don't call 2 + 2 the choice of 4. No.
The universe simply led to them being super geniuses and having figured out exactly how cause and effect works, and they have an idea in there.
Well, again, this whatever this is, this patronizing crap, as if you have a superior understanding where you know for sure that you don't know the answer, and therefore that's why you can be so fucking arrogant about what's not the answer. I mean, what a pile of shit this is from an arrogant pig like you.
Head.
Who keeps pointing to his abstract paintings as if this is our life. Our life is a bunch of abstracts. No, our life is a bunch of explicits. Very explicit things happen. Very dramatic things. Things that are clearly red, blue, green. Things that are not ambiguous at all. The brain takes away the ambiguity and makes it all quite definite in terms of what the calculation will end up being.
So reliable that even though they can't explain consciousness...
But again, another lie. There's been plenty of explanations offered you. You just don't like any of them. Okay? It's 100 billion neurons. It's creating a fucking mental illusion. And the substance of it, the kernel of it, the meaning of it, the whole thing of it, is creating this mechanism of reward and punishment. This idea of a negative shows up, and then you end up with something called a positive if you remove the negative. And through that simple mechanism, you end up creating reward and punishment, or you create what leads to, I think I wrote it down somewhere here, the capacity to teach and to learn. Because you can have something that validates good logic, good reasoning, a mechanism that rewards that. And that's the nature of our mind. You need the valuer, you need the value mechanism to have a learning mechanism. Because without it, you can't tell the right answer from the wrong answer in terms of having a brain.
And they don't have to try to explain consciousness, and they won't, because it's stupid.
Well, again, we have attempted to do that. We have broken it down to rudimentary elements and created analogies for how the brain functions and what utility it had in nature and all that shit. So just lie some more. Like, no one's made any of these arguments when they've made extensive arguments, pretty much, describing most of the elements, the most important parts of what's the substance of consciousness. It's a motivating device, first and foremost, period. Important, exclamation point. It's a motivation device, exclamation point. To create behavior, exclamation point. That's why it exists, jerk. It's because it works.
It proved everything you ever need to know about consciousness, which is this experience of the film strip. It doesn't really happen.
Oh yeah, whatever. No one's saying the film strip doesn't happen. We're just not saying it's this crap. Okay, they're real experiences that create real punch holes in the data cards that are your programming disks. The holes are real in the punch cards, and they have a real implication in terms of what kind of crap will end up being punch carded out of your fucking goddamn gob.
Doesn't matter.
Garbage in, garbage out, fairy princess believer. Fucking Willitons. You're just a quantum fairy.
It doesn't happen. We know that it happens.
And so again, more completely fake premises. Mystic doesn't say we don't live. I don't say we don't live. We certainly, neither one of us say you don't learn by living. Neither one of us says anything like that, you retard. You liar. You're just a fucking grotesque pig of a liar. Just keep lying to make your arguments. They're so fucking bad, you have to keep fucking lying.
Even if there was a determinism, this is happening.
Even if there was a determinism, this is happening. And again, who's arguing that I haven't been alive for 57 years? Did I argue that? Did I argue that I didn't learn some things when I was 1, and some things when I was 2, and some things when I was 3 through experiences that my brain remembers elements of? Did anybody make those arguments anywhere in this fucking conversation, jackass? No! So again, false fucking premise, straw man all the way down, motherfucker.
Was one of the things that was determined. It's for sure happening.
It for sure happened. And it happened because cause and effect. No magic. There was no magic events in my life. There was no... I didn't talk to my fairy godmother and she didn't make me a pumpkin out of a chariot out of a fucking pumpkin. I didn't... There's no magic. All fucking things that had to crawl up to me and kick me in the ass. Nothing just showed up and kicked. I didn't get any magical kicks in the ass.
And they want to discount it. Because, there's people that say, yeah.
Liar. Just a disgusting liar. You're the one discounting this meaning anything because you're saying Magic Will did it. Magic Will did it. I got the desire from the magic will source. The Willitons motivated me to be motivated.
It's to life. There's people that say no to life.
Oh, this is just such a crock of shit. Right, there's some people who say, yeah, you're not worth, 10,000 baby sea turtles per turtle on Earth. You're not worth all the rodents. I don't even know, whatever the calculation is. 70 for every live rat. There's 70 dead ones, killed horribly. For every live bird, 30, 40 dead ones killed horribly. Yeah, you're not worth any of that, you fucking crazy, psychotic, sadistic lunatic. And I won't even get into how you just don't give a shit about humans either because you kill them. You fucking neglectful, reckless pig of a liver. You're a stupid person, a reckless, ignorant pig. You are the definition of idiocracy, you idiot.
The problem with the human world right now is that the latter kind run things.
Does that make any sense to anybody? Can anybody say that's an honest description of who's running the world? The wrong-to-lifers are running the world? No, fuckhead. It's all you fucking right-to-life idiots. All you fucking daydreamers. All you fucking goddamn borrow our kids' money so we can do shit now because we're gonna do super shit. No, that's what all you're gonna do is you're gonna shit. Why don't you use your willpower to do something magical like never shit for the rest of your life? Go ahead and show me how you can use your willpower to never shit for the rest of your life and break cause and effect, shithead. Why don't you do something magical with your magical will, you fucking piece of shit?
Right? People that say there's nothing you can do about the situation of the world.
Again, who says that? Well, the mystic might say that, but don't put my name on that. Don't write my name on that statement, douchebag. Because it's certainly not my fucking opinion, you jackass. You liar.
They're a bigger problem than the people actually trying to...
No, the deluded daydreamers who believe in fucking Willitons are the fucking problem. And magic money that's going to pay the bills someday. Yeah, those people are the problem. Just open the borders and everything will be fine.
Fuck everybody else over that are making the world shitty. Right?
That didn't even make sense. Fuck everybody over who's making the world shitty. Yeah, that'd be the right idea, jackass. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, douche.
No, you could forgive them because maybe this is just the...
And who cares? It's your definition of the crime that's idiotic in the first place. Whether you fucking forgive it, who gives a fucking rat's ass? Even if I was guilty, I wouldn't want your forgiveness, jackass. But I'm certainly not guilty of the fucking crime you're defining, you liar. You're just lying at trial, liar. You should be fucking put in fucking perjury prison, you fucking liar. You compulsive fucking liar.
The PTSD of 10,000 years of slavery.
So some more psychobabble, okay? Yeah, the fucking, what did goddamn drunks do? You know what I mean? I mean, they just keep rationalizing their drunken behavior. Like, gee, I know what I'm doing. So what, I'm drunk? That doesn't mean that everything I touch will die or be ruined. Because I'm a very good drunk driver. Yeah, fuck you. You're a fucking useless drug addict. You belong in a fucking cardboard box.
To be understood. It's still a problem that they have, right? That they happen to have just history itself, the history of the universe itself has led to them in which...
Yeah, this is just really hard to imagine, right? That we're a byproduct of our culture, of our parents, of the environment, the region of the country we grew up in, that somehow all of that stuff creates who we become. Oh my God, what a bizarre theory.
Perfect ideas exist.
Again, nobody's arguing perfect. They're arguing that, yeah, I can tell the world, the earth is now, I understand it's a sphere. I understand the moon's round, the sun's round. They're all spheres. We have good video of it. You know, we have images from the moon, of the earth. It's all kind of been verified. We don't really have to worry about that subject anymore. So, yeah, there's a big pile of data that we have about what the fuck we are. And we're obviously psychological organisms that are completely fucking driven by what drove us. We don't get to drive somewhere, we're driven somewhere by a ton of influences. Influences like idiots like you and Professor Lewin or whatever, camera guy or Feynman or, yeah, zillions of images, zillions of shit happens in the in the processing of your life, and all of that shit is stored in little bits in your goddamn brain, and they're real hard bits. And they make you who you are. Oh my God, what a bizarre theory. No magic involved. How insane could I possibly be to describe our reality as something mechanical and real rather than something magical? We're clearly magical organisms doing magical things, having our magical desires and our magical wills. Fuck. This is worse than religion.
There's nothing they could do to create that idea. It just either happens or not. But it happened for them, you guys. It happened.
Yeah, it did happen for them. That's right. That's right. I didn't fall for your magic tricks. I didn't fall for your voodoo and your shamanism and your whatever, your dream catchers and all your other wacky, silly notions of reality. That's right. I didn't fall for any of those lies, that bullshit, that made-up fairy tale crap. I didn't fall for any of it.
They have a thing in their head that can tell you that your everyday experience of making choices is an illusion. It doesn't...
Well, again, who's arguing? Again, the word choice is just your choice. I'm saying we make decisions, right? No, there's no illusion about that. They're calculations based on real positive and negative influences throughout our life and real measurements we make of current circumstances. What's so difficult? You're not going to bother with the do unto others as you'd have others do unto you unless you understand that others have just as much interest in not feeling like shit as you do. And then you can understand why that's important. That I'm not eliminating broken leg by making broken leg happen to somebody else. I didn't fix broken leg by transferring it from me to somebody else. I can logically understand that. I don't need any magic. I don't need any magic will. I don't need willitons to inform me.
Really matter, right? And if you have a problem in your life, the decisions you make don't actually matter.
Again, who's arguing this? Nobody. Absolutely nobody's arguing that. Nobody. Nobody. I don't think the mystic is saying, "Oh yeah, something occurs to me, and what occurs to me isn't matter in terms of what my life's going to be one way or the other. It'll be exactly the same whether I eat breakfast or I don't. If I never eat breakfast, or if I never eat food ever again, it won't make any difference in my life." I think he knows, yeah, it will make a difference. I mean, it'll make a difference from you either will or will not be dead.
It's simple. And they can live in their little, homes and keep gardens and buy toys for themselves. In the case of Hythloday, they can please themselves. None of it matters.
Oh, like this guy doesn't have any indulgences. This guy can drink out of his bottle and then 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 sit in his lazy boat, okay, and walk around with his on purpose. You know, I sit there and incarcerate some animals for my pleasure. I went to this to the place. I procured them, deliberately forced them to live with me so I can create nuisance work for myself.
They're not even making a choice to buy that toy.
Again, it's not a choice, it's a decision. It's a process of desire. Yes, the mystic, I think, thinks desire is a real mechanism. I think desire is a real mechanism. Hythloday thinks desire is a real mechanism. So again, this canard that we don't know what desire is. No, we do know what desire is, jackass. And that's right, we have personal desires, personal needs, and then we have intellectual knowledge of what the world needs, and then we have to make a balance between my interest and the world's interest and all of that kind of crap. We have to make all those kinds of decisions about what we can or cannot sacrifice of ourselves. How much skin of ourselves can we peel off? How much money can I donate, so to speak? We all have to make decisions like that, jackass. Somebody's in trouble. How much can I do? Or will they sink me into the quicksand they're sinking in? We all have to make those decisions. They're not choices. They're decisions.
History, the whole of universal history merely led to the absolute necessity of them buying toys.
Yeah, it led to the Wright brothers. It led to Galileo. It led to Da Vinci. It led to, we could go right down a list of everything that's ever happened, any invention or anything else, and you can calculate the goddamn fucking pre-existing conditions that led to it. That's goddamn right. It's all been led to. It all needs the pre-existing circumstance or it won't fucking happen. There's no magic. There's cause and effect versus magic. Those are the two choices. Cause and effect, magic. You're defending magic, idiot.
Ways and being perfectly correct about how physics works. So correct that they don't even have to explain the data anymore. They can just ignore it. We got data we haven't explained. We don't have any theories of how consciousness happens.
Well, again, so he keeps arguing like we don't have any clue or we don't have any idea. Like, oh, it's a big, huge mystery, blah, 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 blah. No, it's a behavioral device. We know why computers work. Yeah, it's a kind of computer, and it creates a different kind of input-output. Okay, the output isn't a screen. The inputs aren't mice and the little bit, 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 bit signals. It's a little more different than that, and what it synthesizes is basically the eyeball and the screen. That's right, the projector, the eyeball, the screen. It synthesizes those things. But yeah, they're all illusions. But they're all one hell of an illusion. These things have all been said in videos, so just keep lying some more that we don't have any theory, and that theory is completely, in your opinion, irrational because it doesn't have any willitons in it. Well, fuck you and your willitons.
elusive or not, because of course it's elusive. Skeptics, the skeptic philosophy is basically...
Oh, who cares? Again, I'm not a skeptic. I don't want to be. It's like, so Catholic philosophy is... So why don't you do that? Why don't you just sit there and pray? Why doesn't everybody just wear it on their sleeves? Anna Contafod can be Indian loop-de-doo. You can be your whatever this silly shit is, skeptical beptical. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to try to be rational. Fuck you, assholes. Fuck you, your gurus. Fuck you and your bibble babble. Fuck you and your magic ghosty spiritualism. Fuck you and all that bullshit. Fuck you and the bullshit ass. I'm not a skeptic, jackass. I'm not sitting there saying, I can't trust that this piece of paper is a piece of paper. I can't trust that my eyeballs are in my fucking goddamn head looking at the world. I can't trust I have fingernails on the end of my fingers. Yeah, I can. Fuck that. I'm not going to be skeptical about it. Fuck that. It's a waste of time, you douchebag.
Idea that everything's elusive.
Yeah, bullshit. Everything's elusive. So again, evolution's elusive as a theory. No, it isn't. There's only a ton of evidence for every fucking goddamn bit of it. They figured out there's a little tiny microbe inside of the little tiny parasite. Okay? It's not elusive. We have tons and tons and tons and tons of evidence of information. And a ton of it can be compiled as evidence, hard evidence for very reliable conclusions. Bullshit with this. We don't know anything bullshit. We have to wait for the Williton to tell us what to do. Maybe the Williton is here. Maybe the Williton is over there. I gotta wait for the Williton to tell me what to think.
Right? What is an illusion? It's an idea like the sun is rising.
He keeps using this stupid example. We've been past that for like 1,000 fucking years. We've already been past that bullshit. I mean, human beings have had the notion that maybe the sun goes around the earth. So this has been resolved. I mean, just said the wrong way. The earth goes around the sun. This has been resolved for a long, long time. We don't have to worry about it anymore. We're not fooled.
An illusion. Why? Because it's a misunderstanding of that phenomena. The phenomena exists. But the interpretation, the understanding of it has a mistake in it. Once we know there's a mistake, if somebody is still thinking of it that way, including ourselves.
Yeah, so idiots like you have this delusion that somehow life is about living, when actually life's about killing children, which you've done. So killing children is what life does, okay? The existence of life means that 30 birds will die for every bird you see. It means that 10,000 turtles will die for every turtle you see. I mean, sea turtle. It means that 8,000 octopus will die for every octopus you see. That's what life means. Life means death, jackass. But you're too stupid. You haven't figured out what's sun and what's earth in that scenario. You don't figure out what goes around which one. Death goes around life. Life is owned by death. Jerk.
Don't talk about it that way and think of it that way. We know that that's an illusion, like an optical illusion. We can go ahead and see the illusion and know it's an illusion and have gotten past the illusion that way.
Doesn't change the fact that we can never see some illusions any other way. Some optical illusions, you can't possibly see them any other way. So even when you know it's an illusion, you're still stuck with the fact that I can't see it the right way because my eyes won't do that.
The skeptical idea is that all of your ideas about the things you sense are elusive to some.
Okay, so to some extent we can't tell anything. So what's the fuck? Why would I want to be a skeptic? A skeptic sounds like a complete asshole. Like, you know, really humongous black hole of asshole. That's what a skeptic sounds like to me. What, you can't figure out that we've proven a lot of shit? A lot of shit doesn't need to be talked about anymore? So it's a resolved issue. We don't have to go there anymore. Dumbass.
To some degree, but they can be compared. The illusion of seeing a Buddha in a cloud that's floating by, that's more elusive than...
So it's always this cloud shit too. Like anybody but a 5-year-old is fucking impressed by shapes in clouds. I mean, how fast did you get over that one? Oh yeah, let's look at the clouds. You know, I mean, you know, maybe when you're with the chick on a summer day lying in the daisies, maybe you sit there and waste some time looking at the clouds and saying, let's see if we can see a giant penis going into a vagina. But I mean, really, how much time do people really spend looking at the clouds saying, oh, gee, I hope something fun comes by? Fuck, we got smartphones now. We don't need to fucking be entertained by clouds, retard.
Seeing a Buddha in a piece of stone that's been carved into the shape of Buddha. So we compare these things.
Yeah, both of them are bullshit. 8-armed, silly fucking booty thingies. Who the fuck needs a Buddha? Nobody. Buddha's kind of fat. Why is Buddha fat? Buddha's supposed to be concerned about all the poor suffering people. What's he doing being fat?
Somebody in comments recently said, well, there's no blue apples. Well, I've seen images of blue apples.
Oh, so it's always these arguments like somehow that's relevant to this point. No. There's no mice with 7 zillion legs. Have you ever seen any mice with 7 zillion legs? No, you haven't. Not even any pictures of those, jackass.
Oh, but that's not a real apple. Exactly. Well, there's images and imaginary apples, and there's real apples. What's the difference between the imaginary and real? You have data on both.
Yes, well, we're not talking about what's the difference between the model in your head and reality. We're talking about what is reality. All the stuff real is always real, and the stuff that you can put in your head can be any kind of jackass nonsense. So yes, you can misrepresent reality in preposterous dimensions, in both girth and height. You can get it incredibly wrong, which you have done, jackass. You have a silly willitons flying around in your notion of reality, you dumbass.
But you got better data. What makes it better for the real apple? Well, there's not just for one, it's not just one sense like an image.
This is almost tedious. Like somebody has any kind of problem figuring it out? No, nobody has any problem. Image, not as good as real thing held in my hand.
Or the smell of an apple. You know, you can taste it and touch it and look at it and smell it.
What does this have to do with the subject? Absolutely nothing. You're saying that somehow false. Because I can draw a picture of a leprechaun. Leprechauns exist, or there's some possibility they exist. No, we're talking about what there's evidence for in the universe. Is there evidence for cause and effect? Yes. Is there evidence that ticks have to walk onto my leg, crawl up my leg, get to a spot, dig a hole to actually interact and suck my blood and exchange blood? Yes. Those all physical things have to happen. There's no magic. Ticks don't just appear on my leg. They don't jump there. They're not carried by willitons. They don't magically fly. They don't do any of this bullshit. Okay? There's causes and effects, and the causes have rules, and there's no room for your little magical whoop-de-doo. I have a magical thought in my head that magically makes me a super cool person. You don't get to be a super cool person because you have magical thoughts. You have to be made into a super cool person.
It's the quality of the data that we use to distinguish a real apple from a fake apple.
Again, what does this have to do with determinism? Absolutely nothing. I can tell the difference between a magic trick and a tick. I can tell the difference.
And every single day we're deciding whether we eat that apple or not.
Again, this silly, completely disconnected mush. Like this has something to do. We eat apples because, number one, they're on sale at the store, or we're hungry for some fruit. There's causes that make us eat apples. We don't just magically eat apples.
Whether we make an apple pie with it, if we decide to eat it, whether they make an apple pie or apple juice or applesauce.
Yeah, what does will have anything to do with any of that? Desire has everything to do with that. Your sensibilities, your tastes, whether you like apples more than blueberries and whether blueberries are cheaper. Lots of things will decide what kind of pie you're going to fucking make. But none of them are going to be willitons. Willitons will not make the decision. Your life experience will make the decision.
That they have a theory, just by luck, that's perfectly correct, that tells them...
Yeah, so somehow we acquired our knowledge just by luck. We didn't study anything or think about anything or listen to Feynman videos or do anything else to qualify our thinking process or to enhance that thinking process. No, we just waited for the Williton to tell us what to think. No, that's your theory, dopey. My theory is, yeah, you actually have to do the work to acquire coherent and rational understanding, ideas of how reality works.
Those choices don't really happen. But ask yourself, in your life...
Again, nobody's arguing that we don't make decisions, that our brain doesn't process the current existing circumstance and draw a conclusion based on its understanding of the current circumstance. That's exactly what it does. It sees how high the water is and then calculates whether its shoes are high enough so the water doesn't get in their feet. It does the calculation all the time, constantly calculating what is the appropriate thing to do.
Life. Do your choices really happen? And once you check out and say your choices don't matter, you're not going to make them.
Again, who's suggesting that? Mystic, maybe. Don't put my name on that. I'm not arguing you don't make decisions. I'm not arguing for abdication. I'm not arguing for it doesn't matter. I'm arguing for, yes, part of the determinism is being really irritated by the flaws that exist in the world, to be really irritated by the fucking garbage, mishmush, bullshit talking twats who are talking twatia. Okay, they're stupid fucking Williton magical nonsense bullshit. They're fucking goddamn twatty religion. Yeah, that shit should piss me off. That should be part of the determinism, that a rational person be pissed off by gobbledygook mishmush talkers.
Do they really... Does that really not make a difference? It's just as much as... You accomplish just as much as if you actually try to use your energy.
Yeah, you try to use your energy. Whatever, again, what does that fucking goddamn mean? You mean you have a desire and you decide to exercise your desire by investing in it. It's gratification or satisfaction. What the fuck are you talking about again? Use your energy. Your energy to what? Willify? Use your energy to make me desire the good thing. What?
To do something? Is that the result of your experiment on that?
So again, what does this even mean? What's his accusation? I don't do anything. I'm not motivated. I'm not passionate enough. I'm not investing enough energy. Fuck you. You're not only stupid, you're fucking insanely stupid.
Meanwhile, these guys do spend their will playing with toys, gardening,
drinking, drunky drinking. I drinked and then I drunked and then I drunk some more and then I drunk some more and then I drunk some more. So I can't even figure out how to use a computer. I'm so fucking drunk.
Things that make their little Epicurean lives better. It's a con job. They're telling you that there's no possibility of will.
Again, what is a will? Again, who's telling you there's no possibility of will? Who's saying, they're just saying, what are you talking about? What exactly do you think a will is? Do you think it comes from an idea, a principle, a notion, a concept, a desire? Or do you think it's just some kind of magical thing that just pops onto me that says, I all of a sudden say I'm a really great tap dancer and I will tap dance? Is that how it works?
They're telling you this terrible world, they'll just garden. There's nothing, they have no other choice. So
these are all just lies from the drunk. The murdering drunk.
Complain about anything that they do, It's not their fault that history itself has led up to them having an absolutely perfect conception of how the world works.
So more lies. No one's arguing that it's absolutely perfect. What they're arguing is it's a lot better than your silly Willitons. It's a lot better than magic and religion, made up notions, leprechauns and fairies that you believe, fairy godmothers. Yeah, it's a lot better description of reality than your fucking one run by Mrs. Willia, the fairy godmother.
Works so that they can ignore data that they have.
Again, who's argued that again? More just gross lies. Nobody's made a video saying we don't learn through experience. No one's made that video. Just a disgusting fucking lie. Lie, 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 you stupid dumb drunk.
Which is all they have about how the world works. Well, let me tell you how the world works.
Oh, the drunk is going to tell us how the world works. The drunk who believes in the Willitons.
We have these experiences and they are information. It defines what information is. We process that information and we...
Yeah, process it how? Oh, you mean through our life experience? Through our capacity to understand the language? Obviously, if I was in Japan, there'd be a lot of information I couldn't receive because it's all being spoken in a ... Morse code that I couldn't understand. So I'd be completely deprived of a ton of information because I don't understand the language. I can't will myself past that. Will isn't going to matter. What's going to matter is being able to speak Japanese.
Affecting the future. If I wake up in the morning and I find, I'm in a house that feels cold, and I go over to the thermometer and I see,
the thermometer, the thermostat, the device that controls the furnace.
It's 50 degrees, and I know if I turn on the heat, turn this one knob, this fan and heat will come on.
Nobody has those kind anymore, newsflash. Everybody has digital ones, just push the button, raise the temperature.
And within half an hour, it could be, 80 degrees.
Right, because there's 12 volts of electricity going through the wire, and it goes through this little switch, and the little switch says on, and so the furnace says, oh, okay, on. I turn on now. No magic. Cause and effect. Electricity has to go through the wires. No Willitons make it happen.
And I know that because in the past, right, in the past, one of these sides, which one would be?
Yeah, right. In the past, you might have taken a little bit of a course on electricity, and you might understand what a thermostat is, and so you wouldn't think it's magical, so you wouldn't need to even have previous experience turning a thermostat on. You might even know what one is without ever touching one because you already gained knowledge of what electricity is and what on-off switches are.
The past. This one's the past. In the past, I've done this knob turning before, and I've seen that it takes a half an hour, and I've predicted the future. Well, I'll tell you what has to happen with will. Will, illusion or not, it has to come from physics.
Okay, so he's going to now make will into an atom and an electron or a proton or a quanton. So again, he's taking something that's clearly a phenomenon that takes place in a little bit of ball of goo inside your head, inside your brain. A specific kind of mush makes the illusion of your consciousness. Not your arms, not your legs, not your feet, not your penis, nothing. None of those things create the illusion. The neurons in your brain create the illusion.
Native cells, and obviously we've decomposed what we're made of. In those
yeah, so some of us have done it rationally and recognized that the tissue inside my cranium, inside my brain, is very different than the tissue of my anus.
It has to be will.
My anus isn't willing. My anus isn't doing any of this shit. Any of this fairy willitoning.
Or the features that allow it to combine so that will is emergent. Either way, will is a phenomenon. Yeah.
So he keeps saying will is a phenomenon when I'm saying, what the fuck do you mean? I don't have any notion that will is anything but a silly word you're using to disguise the word desire. and pretend you're not talking about desires. Wills are desires. If you will something, it's because you desire it, you want it. Your intent is a desire motivation. It's a manifestation of desire.
Get out of real stuff.
And desire is just a consequence of what I was talking about before, this pain pleasure, this reward punishment mechanism that works to validate and to discourage behavior, to make you more likely to do the things that will make you more likely to survive in nature originally, and now in our different new culture, which will make you more respectable, because you intelligent people will say, gee, that makes sense. I don't think intelligent people are going to say what you're saying makes any sense. Gobbledygook Wilton man.
The combination of whatever parts of us is willing, and it's quite likely down at the physical level.
Okay, so again, he's just going to imply that somehow the ability to feel goes down to, like, again, he's argued that parameciums feel when the evidence was bogus and silly. He thinks things without brains are conscious. He thinks consciousness is something floating in the universe, and that it happens to stuff. They don't have to have neurons and arrangements. So even though there's a fact that you can just cut off little pieces of my brain and I'm not conscious anymore, even though that's a fact, he's going to pretend consciousness is everywhere.
You don't recognize an atom as willing, the randomness, but the will is obviously a force that can interact with the fact that there's a randomness. Maybe there's no randomness.
Whatever does that mean? What does that even mean? The randomness he can't prove exists is interacting with the will to create the what? Well, what the fuck good is random anyway? As I've pointed out, random doesn't make you smart. Random doesn't make you good. Random doesn't make you nice. Random doesn't make you anything. It doesn't make you pretty. Random doesn't fix anything. Random isn't a solution to a problem.
Randomness, maybe it's all will. This little tiny randomness, this weak randomness that exists because of quantum mechanics. Perhaps.
Again, he says it exists. There's no evidence. It's just a box that we can't look in. And he says, well, if you could look in it, there's going to be randomness in it. I bet you. This is special.
There's none. Perhaps the answer, the hidden variable, is the will.
Right. So the will. There's will inside of the physical mechanics. So even though we know brains lose their consciousness, just whack. All I have to do is whack. I just whack this thing a little bit harder than I just did. And whoops, I'm gone for a while. Even though that's a fact, he's going to